Hi and welcome to my channel. I am Ayobola Adibowale, your baby's doctor, and today's video is based on a request. The person said I should make a video on febrile convulsions, and I should also say something about what to do when a child is convulsing. So that is what we are going to do. I know I posted a video before on the do's and don'ts when helping a convulsing child. So this video will just basically talk about febrile convulsion and then use the opportunity to remind us about the things that we can do when a child is convulsing. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope that this video will be very helpful to you and yours, and let's get to it. All right, so before we continue, I'd like you to subscribe to my channel. It only takes a second, so if you have not done that yet, just pause this video for a second and click that subscribe button below this video. So pause. All right, so I believe you are subscribed to my channel, and if you didn't still subscribe to the channel, alright, so thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and please click the notification bell so that you can get notified anytime I post a new video. And yes, at the end of this video, please like the video so that YouTube can make it available and accessible to people, and of course share this video so that it can get to the right people, and together we can reduce the morbidity or mortality that is associated with children worldwide. Alright, so let's get straight to it. Febrile convulsion. So it is defined as convulsion on the background of fever in a child. Now, the age is a little bit controversial because some people say 6 months to 6 years. Some people say 6 months to 5 years. Some people say 3 months to 6 years. But I think the very popular one is either 6 months to 6 years or 6 months to 5 years. So children usually older than the age of 6 years do not usually have febrile convulsion. And it can occur in children as low as 3 months, although usually between the ages of 5 months and 6 months to 6 years. So that is what it is. So a child has fever due to some underlying problems, like maybe an infection, malaria infection, upper respiratory tract infection, whatever infection, there is fever, and then the child convulses because of the fever. All right, so it's different from other things like meningitis, when the child actually convulses because of the meningitis. But in this case, the child convulses because of the fever. So I'm not going to go into the details of how this happens so that I don't make this video a medical conference. But that is basically what febrile convulsion is. So febrile convulsion is usually managed in the hospital. When you get to the hospital, some investigations will be done. Your baby's random blood glucose, that's blood sugar, will be checked to be sure that it's not because of low blood sugar that your child convulsed. They also look for other things that might have explained the seizures. For example, look for meningitis by taking a sample from the baby's spine, and do some blood investigations to find out if maybe some electrolytes are deranged. That is why the child is convulsing. So after they've ruled out every reason why a child should convulse, they will usually just treat the underlying illness, and the convulsions would not occur anymore. So that is it for febrile convulsion. That is what it is. But then before getting to the hospital, I will just briefly talk about the things you do to help a convulsing child. So first, when a child is convulsing around you, you need to make sure that the environment is safe. So you move the child away from anything that can harm the child. If the child is on a surface that is not so strong, you can put the child on the floor, on a flat surface. Remove any constricting clothing. Remove any item that can actually hurt the child. So remove pencils, remove pens, and all that. And shift the child away from, like the wall or from tables or anything that can injure the child. After you have done that, you have placed the child on the flat surface, you have removed all the constrictive clothing, you then turn the child to the left side. So the child lies on the left side, which is called the recovery position. This position is done that way to prevent aspiration, because sometimes when some children convulse, they can produce a lot of secretions in their mouth. And if care is not taken, it can be aspirated. But when you place a child on the left lateral position or the recovery position, it's easy for the secretion to actually come out of the mouth. And while you're doing this, try as much as possible not to restrict the movement of the child. So the child is convulsing, just make sure that the child is guided, but please do not restrict the movement of the child. And while doing this, someone else should call for help, or you yourself, if you don't have anybody here, should call for help. And once the child has finished convulsing, usually for a febrile convulsion, it doesn't even last up to 15 minutes. it doesn't last up to 15 minutes. So when the child is done convulsing, you can take the child to the hospital. But please do not give herbal concussions. You know the way it is now, me and herbal concussions. Please do not give herbal concussions. And that is not the time for you to give your child paracetamol or whatnot. So please do not give your child anything while they are convulsing, because in the process of doing that, your child can actually aspirate and develop complication of aspiration. So once you have been able to create a safe environment for your child to convulse, after you've done all you can, stand and watch the process. But then while you're watching the process, please call for help and look for ways that you can use to mobilize your child to the hospital. That's it on febrile convulsion. It is that easy. I mean, anybody can make a diagnosis of febrile convulsion. Yeah, so I just made you guys doctors. Yay! In how many minutes? All right, so that is it. Fever with convulsion after ruling out other things that might have caused the convulsion. So that is what febrile convulsion is. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Remember to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you can get notified anytime I post a new video. Thank you so much for joining me. I remain Ayobola Adebowale, your baby's doctor. If you have any question, any comments, please drop them in the section below. And if you want me to talk about any topic, I'm here for you. Thanks so much for joining me. See you next time.